Welcome to The Business Kitchen, where every week we will be cooking up some fun recipes to help you succeed in business. You'll get time-tested and delicious business recipes as well as some new cutting-edge recipes. Every recipe has a story, and every chef adds their own unique flavor to each dish, just like each business strategy has its own story. Here at The Business Kitchen, you can be sure to find your own recipe for success.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Natalia Levy. I am your host of Business Kitchen. Welcome back. This is our third episode, and I'm absolutely thrilled to host this show and talk about different businesses and talk about all the different special ingredients and special sauces that make your business a success. And we are here. I know the whole country is going through this pandemic, and we're all trying to find ways to recover and come back. And our goal every week is to bring in a guest to the show and talk to them. What have they done? Can they share some special techniques? Can they share special strategies that you can benefit from? And I am really excited to bring on my co-host, Tatiana, and our special guest for today. So the guest that we will have today, his name is Ray Collins, and Ray is a former award-winning TV news anchor and reporter who spent most of his career on the Gulf Coast of Florida. He is in his high school and college Hall of Fame, has covered some of the biggest stories of a generation, and is now a media consultant and real estate agent in Sarasota, Florida. Welcome, my co-host Tatiana. Welcome, Ray. I'm so excited to have you on. It's such an honor. Ray, we've known each other for a couple of years now, so welcome on the show.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here. Nice to see you both, ladies. You both look great, and I'm excited to talk about ways that our viewers can improve publicity and promotion of their respective businesses without spending a penny.
Oh, isn't this something so relevant in these times right now? I'm so excited. Now, you and I have had a chance. We've known each other for a couple of years. I adore you and your wife. You guys are just such a wonderful presence in Sarasota community and in the Gulf Coast. So thank you for your time, and I'm sure this episode is going to be filled with so many tips. You guys are going to want to grab a pen and paper or save this and make sure that you watch this all the way to the end, because Ray, I can tell you right now, this episode is going to be just filled with amazing tips. So in the next 25 minutes, Ray's going to explain how anyone listening can boost their own business without spending a penny. How does that work? I'm excited.
Is that the first question?
No. Well, I'm excited. I figure we're all joining in the excitement. So Ray, your webpage, Ray Collins Media. So I've checked it out, and so it says that not only have you been an anchor, which is we met through your wife, and so Erin works with Visit Sarasota, but we have met through ABC7, because I actually cooked on the set of ABC7 while you were an anchor still there. So that was just to kind of give a little bit of the background. And every time that I have seen you, you've always been so professional and so eloquent. So you are a media consultant, a real estate agent, and a travel writer as well, right?
That's true. I think all those titles fall under the same category of communication, because in each of those you need to be a clear communicator, write concisely. But no, I actually, my roots are in broadcasting. I first knew when I was about 12 years old I wanted to go into this profession, and it was just a matter of time until I did it.
Wow. So how did you get started in broadcasting?
When I grew up in Buffalo, New York, and a friend of my father's was a very successful sportscaster in Buffalo, and they'd play tennis, and I'd go and watch, and I was just enamored by this guy. His name was Van Miller. He was the voice of the Buffalo Bills, and he let me go by the TV station when I was 13, 14 years old and hang around and watch how they did it. And I just loved everything about it, the way it sounded, the way it smelled, the cadence of the work. I was enamored by it. I first got on the radio when I was 16 years old. My high school had a program with a local rock station in Buffalo, one of those Sunday morning shows at 6 a.m. that no one listened to. Well, I was hosting that, and I also volunteered at the University of Buffalo radio station to play records. I was just scared. I could barely speak. I was so nervous. Then I went to college, and they had a campus station there at St. Bonaventure, and I was on the air every moment I could. In fact, this past weekend, we were out with another couple who came to see us down from Tampa, and he said, every time I turned on the radio back in college, Ray Collins was on. I said, really? That was the case? Because I felt like it. So, yeah, I began in radio. My first two jobs after college were both in radio in New Jersey, and then I applied for a job in Tampa at WFLA, and they called and said, when could you start? And I said, what time is it now? So I began about 3 or 4 days later, and that's when I first got to Tampa back in 1987, and then got into TV after that. And I don't want to talk any longer because I don't want to risk boring you, so I'll give it back to you.
Oh, no. Nothing that you can say can be boring. I can just listen to your voice forever and ever and ever.
Wow.
Oh, I love it. So you have had a tremendous career in communications and in media, and what you must have seen a lot of changes that have happened through the years.
Yeah, I covered a lot of big stories, from going to Ground Zero, going to the U.S. Supreme Court. I've covered presidential debates, inaugurations, Super Bowls, hurricanes. Went to Honduras once to cover a hurricane back in '98. But I think the point of your question is the changes behind the scenes. And put it this way, when I first was anchoring the TV news back in 1989, there was me and 3 cameras, 3 camera operators, a floor director, a teleprompter person. So that's about 4 or 5 people with me. When I most recently did the news a few months ago, it was just me alone in the studio. Everything is remote control, and now in the field, when I used to do live shots, there would be a live shot operator and also a photographer. Now I did it all myself. I'd set the tripod, the camera up, and then turn the viewfinder toward me and try to frame it correctly. So they've really condensed the number of people needed to do a broadcast, and in some ways for better and in some ways for worse. But I guess the good news is there are more outlets, more platforms, more places to work these days than when I first got going. There was about 4 TV stations. Now I'm really dating myself.
No.
Ray, what would you say your favorite? What would you say your favorite story you've covered is?
Well, that's a great question. I've covered some big stories and met some big celebrities, but I think what it comes down to is I used to love doing stories about unsung heroes in the communities where I work, the people that really had a tough hand dealt to them and they still prevailed. In fact, I did a weekly segment for a while called Rays of Hope, where I took submissions for unsung heroes in the community. And I love the opportunity to put these people on a public stage and reward them for their behind-the-scenes work all the time. That was the most satisfying part for me, not being on the air, but the ability to help somebody. I mean, even after all, Natalia, you have a wonderful restaurant down here in Sarasota in St. Armand Circle. And one time I had a chance to do a story about you, because I really respect you for being an entrepreneur trying to launch your own business in a challenging market. Sarasota is very competitive. So the fact that I could help you for that one day, no big deal. But that's the kind of stuff I like. So I guess, Tatiana, not a very interesting answer, but that's what I'll give you today.
I love it.
Thank you, Ray. I really like what you said, that, I mean, in a way, it is challenging the fact that there's a lot less people that are required in the studio. I know when I was in the studio, everything was just moving by itself, it seemed like, and there was
robotic,
probably a person behind the scenes. So I just feel like that probably should give some, in a way, hope to the businesses right now, that it's possible to do it yourself. You don't need a whole giant production crew, and maybe just a person sort of guiding them on how to create a story, and teaching that sort of that confidence. Is that something that you that you teach, that you consult with?
Actually, I do. I've been teaching behind the scenes for 10 years. I've taught politicians and executives and law students and anybody that wants to improve their own image and performance. But beyond just the cosmetics, I also teach companies how they can get their message out, because you don't have to go through local media anymore, whether it be on social media or there's also a method that I'll start to tell some secrets right now. They have to feed the news cycle. Stations are desperate for local content, and more often they're hiring inexperienced people that aren't really clear how to generate news. Good journalists have their eyes and ears open all the time, talk to people at coffee shops, read a lot. But these days, a lot of the younger journalists are waiting for stories to be handed to them in a press release. So that's the opportunity for businesses. I'll give you a couple of examples. This isn't very exciting, but I had a lawyer approach me who's got a great background in workers' compensation. Boring. But he said, I've got all kinds of story ideas. How do I? So I said, listen, call so-and-so at this station and tell them, in light of what just happened in world events, there's a local angle to this. There's always a way to localize a story. So there's ways to, here's a better example. Years ago, sorry if I'm talking too much right now, ladies.
Good.
Years ago, I got a press release a couple days before Christmas that said, we're a tax watchdog group. We're going to have a press conference on Main Street in Sarasota. Well, that's not going to get any attention because it's a busy time of year, and tax watchdog, it's just not the right timing. And then they said, we are going to have the Grinch Who Stole Christmas, have somebody dressed as the Grinch and deliver a stocking full of coal to the local congressperson's office because she has not been a very good tax watchdog. And that's the kind of thing that causes local TV stations and papers to light up. If they can get a shot of a person dressed as the Grinch delivering a stocking of coal to the congressperson, that suddenly speaks their language. So the moral of this little anecdote is there are always ways to get the media's attention if you think visually and think outside the box. And beyond that, all different social media and local media have to fill with content. You can be a hero if you present to them some ideas and make some good contacts along the way.
I think some businesses think it's a little more difficult than it is to get in touch with the news and get their stories heard. At least for me, we started this local initiative, Take Out SRQ, when all the restaurants shut down, just to get one local hub where all the restaurants can put their menus so people know who's open, doing delivery, takeout, things like that. And, it's pretty easy to just find local news stations, especially on social media, check out who their anchors are, contact the anchors directly, and share the story. And the next day they were at the office taking a video and spreading the word to everyone in town. So they really are open to hearing what you have to say to share your stories.
That's true. That's very right, Tatiana. If you show some ambition and some initiative, you're surprised how far that could take you these days. Moreover, there are certain times that you want to reach out. I guess if you're going to email, it doesn't matter quite as much. But one answer key component people love to hear about is there a best time of day or best time of week to contact a station? And there actually is. You'll never believe the most highly watched newscast of the week, Sunday, 11 p.m. The slowest news day of the week, slowest news day is Sunday. So if you were to have something to announce on Sunday, your chance of coverage is much better than during the week. Just make sure you contact them Friday as they're trying to set up their weekend schedule. You also don't want to contact, at 9 or 10 a.m. when they're doing their morning meeting. You want to contact in the afternoon. There's a little window there while they're trying to plan for the next day. You don't have to contact weeks in advance either. It's not first come, first serve. So there's a little bit of a strategy as to when and how to contact TV and newspapers as well.
There's so many golden nuggets that I'm hearing you say. So think visually. So start thinking of how the station would film this. So that is a whole different approach, right? To thinking about how to put yourself out. And then thank you for sharing the best time to contact. I mean, I think a lot of people are unaware about like what is the best time and all of that. And then you said, so it is all about being proactive and really finding ways to stand out. So those are 3 of the absolutely priceless tips that you have shared with us.
Well, let me hop in one more time here along those lines, because if you can supply somebody who can help personalize the story and save that reporter one more step, they'll really want to work with you. For example, I had a congressman's office call and say, hey, we've got this new program that we're announcing, and I can also supply you Sally Smith, who's benefiting from it. Oh, great. Makes my life easy. So if you go the extra step and supply somebody and help them personalize it, because, when I was covering, let's say, city commission, I first began covering county government because I was the low man on the totem pole, but I found it very interesting and wound up winning awards for covering it because nobody else wanted to cover it. And it's not just a matter of votes and resolutions, it's also, it affects people. So when I would cover a story, I wouldn't say Tampa City Council voted to raise taxes. I'd say Sally Smith already can barely make ends meet. And with last night's vote at City Hall, it just got tougher. So if you can help personalize your story, this is getting a little off the topic perhaps, maybe this is better tips for reporters, but even when you're owning a business of any sort and are trying to get more attention, there are ways you can make the recipient's life easier if you think one step ahead and frankly do the work for them.
Yes.
That's amazing.
It's kind of like what you and I have done and what Tatiana and I do whenever we prepare each episode. There's definitely an outline. There's no winging it. If you're doing something
you and I
for 2-3 minutes.
Because I was just going to say, you said, could I interview you? And I said, sure. But for us just to sit here and wing it wouldn't be doing justice to the viewers. So I did give you some possible topics to talk about, and you're choosing a few, and that way there's no wasted time.
Yes. Tatiana, I know you had a question. Sorry, go ahead.
So I know that, Ray, you also do real estate. Can you talk to us a little bit about that and how you're able to make that work with the way, the pandemic is going on right now?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I have segued out of full-time TV news into real estate because I was on in Sarasota for 15 years, so there's a number of home buyers that already recognize me, and I've got some credibility. They're not afraid to let me in their home because they know I've been dependable on TV for years. Of course, the pandemic, that's a different story. I've done a lot of on laptop conversations, and in fact, transactions now can be done all remotely. I mean, I sold a condo in Bradenton a few months ago, and I never even met the buyer. It was all done either on the computer or just electronically. As far as the real estate market goes, it didn't take quite the dive that a lot of experts predicted, partly because a lot of people were afraid to invest in Wall Street again, and they wound up investing in real estate, much to my delight. So yes, things are off, a certain percentage from year to year, but now with interest rates at near record lows, this is really a good time to invest in a first home or a condo or real estate of some sort. So the timing's good. But I'm enjoying the transition from TV to real estate. I had a chance to produce some videos, which is my favorite thing to do. I did a video about a condo in downtown Sarasota, and even included the bloopers afterwards of some of the things that happened. And that thing has gotten 1,000 views in the past 3 or 4 weeks. I haven't sold the condo yet, but I think I've gotten more eyes on the project, at least. It's a condo that costs $1.4 million, so it takes longer sometimes to sell higher end properties. But I think at some point today, we might even get a chance to show that video.
Yes, let's see. Are we able to show the video? Because it just has such a unique angle from the perspective of the producer. Let's see if our studio can add this video, can have it running.
Welcome to Sarasota, one of the prettiest cities on the Gulf Coast of Florida and beyond. Award-winning beaches, the arts, and year-round nice weather. And one of the most beautiful streets in the downtown area is Cosmopolitan Palm Avenue. This new condo building on South Palm just went up last year, and buyers quickly snatched up all 16 condos. But one buyer never moved in their condo, and now it's up for sale, and you can be the first one to live here. And we're going to show you why this is the best condo in the building. Welcome to 711 South Palm Avenue here in downtown Sarasota. I'm Ray Collins. For years I told you stories every night on TV, and now I'm going to tell you the story of this never lived in home in Sarasota. Come on in. A brand new 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom condo, all en suite, in the best location in town and in the building. Get this, the owner spent more than $90,000 in upgraded options throughout the home. That starts with the panels throughout that can be programmed to your needs. The shades go up and down at a certain time each day, and brand new TV sets with high-tech soundbar speaker systems. Look at the pull-out Cucina Ricci cupboards, the finished master closets, and the never-before-used Whirlpool washer and dryer. Another unique advantage of this home, all the units on this floor have the biggest front patios in the building, and this corner unit might be the best of all. And besides the bigger patios, there's another big advantage to living here on the second floor of this building. Walk right through your laundry room to the steps. Out the back door, you're one of the closest units to the backyard. That includes this tropical swimming pool and cabanas, a charming private dog park, and a secured garage. You'll have 2 spaces and your own storage unit. You'll have access to a high-end fitness center, as well as on-site management and on-site maintenance. You'll need a code to get in the building and even a code to ride up the elevator. Security and privacy are of utmost importance here. You won't find a better location or a better place in which to live. 711 South Palm Avenue. You'll be the first one to live in Unit 201, listed at a very good price compared to others in this prestigious neighborhood. Steps from eclectic Burns Court. Steps from quaint downtown Sarasota and that bayfront. Contact me now and we'll schedule a tour. Hi, I'm Ray Collins, and this truck won't stop backing up. You can walk right through your laundry room, out your back door to the, whoops. You just steps to your backyard and one of the closest ones to the pool.
What fantastic bloopers, Ray. So you created a whole story about creating this video, and it's something. Do you recommend when businesses create a video around their product, do you recommend creating a story?
Yes, people love to hear stories, and it makes it more interesting to digest a little personal angle like that. So yeah, that I'm kind of changing the course of real estate videos right now with projects like that one. I did one more last night where we used a drone, and I began talking to the camera in front of me, and then a drone all of a sudden picked me up, and by the end of the time I was talking, I was just a speck on the pavement down below. So yeah, telling stories is a good way to get your message across anytime you can.
So Ray, if you were to give one key takeaway to the business owners as we're wrapping up here, what would it be? I know we've given us so many amazing pieces of advice. But if people feel like, it's overwhelming, you have a lot of practice and experience in media, and you sound amazing, and you know how to put together a story. So besides contacting you on Ray Collins Media and hiring you as a consultant to help them, what is the one thing that businesses can do to focus on without that feeling overwhelmed? Where do they start?
It's a great question. Just, be your own champion. Take initiative. Nobody else will do it for you. And I think if you just take that step, and sometimes you might have some fear about it, you'll perhaps prevail. I'd rather, there's an old expression, I'd rather go 0 for 1 than 0 for 0. Wayne Gretzky, the hockey great, said he never, I wish I had this ready, he missed 100% of the shots he didn't take. You get the idea. Just get the bat off your shoulder, as I mix metaphors, and take a swing. The worst they can say is no, but I don't take no as being a real negative. Okay, go to the next one then. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. It's just a process. You can't get too emotionally attached in business. It's all intellectual, not emotional.
I love that. Absolutely brilliant. Ray, we are so grateful to have you come on the show today. Thank you so much. Tatiana, thank you for coming in. I know we're all jumping in from different areas of the country right now. And we are so grateful. Find Ray at raycollinsmedia.com. And he has, as you can see, just from this episode, you've gotten so much advice. And I am grateful to you for watching. And thank you for tuning in. And we'll see you next week.
Steaks Glam Bar is an award-winning, family-owned restaurant with 2 locations in Florida's Gulf Coast, Lakewood Ranch and St. Armand Circle. A New York-style Italian clam bar, Steaks offers fresh house-made pasta with homemade marinara sauce that runs on 3 speeds, sweet, medium, and hot. A wide variety of delicious fresh seafood, craft cocktails, all joyfully served in Prohibition-style decor, have made Steaks Glam Bar a favorite destination for locals and visitors alike. Our unique approach to accommodating guests with dietary restrictions has made Steaks one of the favorites among doctors and health enthusiasts. Bring your family and friends to Steaks today or get takeout. Our teams are always happy to welcome you.